Okay, good evening. Thank you for inviting me out to the Complete Transformation Seminar. My name is Kenneth Johnson. I'm known on Facebook as Kenneth Celebrity Trainer Johnson. A little bit about myself. I've been in fitness since about the age of 8 years of age. I was inspired by a cousin of mine who was a football player, and I said to myself, within myself, I want muscles like him one day. And that kind of stuck with me. And at the age of 8, I just started doing basically what I saw my cousin do: push-ups, sit-ups, anything to make my muscles feel like they were being worked. I like that burning sensation. So I just did it until eventually I started seeing results. My grandfather instilled something within me as a young child, and it affects me even to this day. I grew up on a farm. My parents moved from New York when I was about age 2. Grew up on a farm in South Carolina. So my grandfather grew a lot of crops: watermelon, corn, farm animals, and everything. And he had a tractor, and on the back of the tractor he had a plow. And one day, I remember being as a little kid, by the age of 8, 9 years of age, I had a wrench in my hand, and I was trying to loosen this bolt on the back of this plow. My grandfather looked at me, had a smirk on his face, and he said, "You can't do that." And when he said that, that inspired something inside of me. And I put everything I had into trying to loosen this bolt, and I actually popped it. And when it popped, I guess that pretty much stuck with me. So to this day, words such as can't, impossible, try don't exist in my vocabulary. And for all of my clients that I train personally, the same applies. You know, whatever you think about doing, whatever you believe you can do, you will achieve it. Transformation, as all the other speakers said before, it requires some pain. It's not an easy thing when you're trying to get to another level. It's not just a spiritual transformation, a mental transformation, it's a physical transformation also. And I deal with, my business is called Virtual Fitness 360, which means becoming fit 360 degrees around, all the way around from the inside out. Not just physical, not just mental, not just spiritual. People tend to have a, well, let me backtrack for a second. I've been in a national men's magazine in 2007 called Black Men's Magazine. I've done several professional photo shoots, Northeast, here in New York, New Jersey, Florida. Been invited to go out to Canada. I've been invited to do small parts in small movies, TV series. I've been on television, cable channel 14 in Maryland. I've been on the radio. Fitness has allowed me to do a lot of things that I never even dreamed of doing. It started out as a hobby in my personal life, and then it transformed into something else. Whereas people were just looking at what I was doing, looking at my body, and just making me offers that I pretty much couldn't refuse. But what I do is I not only train personally, but I train online as well. And that's where Virtual Fitness 360 comes into play. I've been a personal trainer since 2001. I'm also a martial arts instructor. Pastor Nashawn was one of my first self-defense clients here in Florida. So we're gonna have to grapple one day, doctor. Okay. But I train people online, not just here in Florida, not just across the United States, but also internationally. I've had clients in Germany, Iraq, London, Canada, Kuwait, all around the world, and they connect with me through Facebook. And what I do is, for people that I'm not able to train personally, I design personalized fitness routines, give them a set of do's and don'ts food guidelines. I design meal plans, and pretty much, you know, it works for people who are already somewhat motivated. They just don't have the proper guidance. So that's a little bit about what I do and what I've done. But transformation, again, backing up a little bit, transformation, and people look at exercise just being a physical thing. Okay, it's more than just physical. In order to reach a goal, in order to reach a point, you have to first set a goal. You have to have the right mindset. And with that mindset, you have the right spirit, inside of you. So what I always tell somebody to do is get your mind right first. Okay, what's your goal? I want to lose 30 pounds, 40 pounds. Okay, easier said than done. It's going to take something to get to that point. Are you willing to pay the price? Are you willing to go through the soreness, go through the routines, go through the rituals, be disciplined enough to stick to something to get you to that desired weight loss or muscle gain, whatever it might be? And oftentimes, People who train with me, I have a high success ratio. I always say there's no failure in God's program. So if you start out with me, we're going to get to the finish line. I've been cursed. I've been called names. You can say anything you want, but once you give me a goal, we're going to get there together. I don't let you quit on yourself. I've only had probably maybe 2 people ever stop. That's because they gave up on themselves. But as long as you have belief within yourself, anything's possible. Now, physical fitness, as you're training your body, a change happens inside of you as well. Not just from a muscular perspective, but you got to retrain your thoughts, the way you think. Your belief system has to change. You have to visualize yourself already there at that goal. That makes things a whole lot easier. Because if you don't have no vision, you're going to perish. You don't have a roadmap to get there in the first place. But for people who are not motivated, what I do oftentimes is I'm that coach. I coach them through it. I help them get through the rough spots. Oh, my body's sore. I'm hurting. Oh my God. Oh, feel like I'm dying. That's all part of the process. You have to go through that pain. You have to go through that pain to get to where you're going to go. The same way as a Christian. For those of you who are Christians, Jesus bore his cross. He said, "Those who are not willing to bear their cross ain't worthy of him." So you have to bear your cross to get to that goal. And I always have a saying that the glory has to be greater than the pain. If it's not, then you're wasting your time. If you're not willing to go through it, don't even start. Because it does take some time, like another speaker said earlier. Time, pain, and are you willing to pay that price? So what I do is when I train people, oftentimes there's a lot of counseling that goes along with that. And I have to retrain their thoughts, help them retrain their thinking, help them see themselves as they can be, not as what they are right now. And that's a process. Oftentimes, had a lady send me an email late last night, a message on Facebook. She contacted me 2 weeks ago. I've never met her before in my life. She's online, never even seen her. I think I glanced at her page once. And she said that she'd be ready by January 27th to train. Sent me a late message last night about 11 o'clock p.m. And she stated that, I don't remember word for word, but she said, Mr. Johnson, when I approached you about losing weight, I was sincere. She said during that time, she had been put into the hospital because of her weight. And she had to actually borrow money to pay for her medications. So I told her to give me a call. I don't care how late it was to give me a call. That's an emergency situation. And another lady contacted me through the pastor here, Pastor George, and she said she weighs 512 pounds and she's 5'3". That's an emergency situation. And the doctor says before she can have any medical procedure done, she has to lose 70 pounds on her own. Now, I deal with a lot of women more so than men, but a lot of women that I deal with are obese, very low self-esteem. It affects your whole mentality, especially women. I don't care how beautiful the woman might be. A lot of beautiful women are very insecure when it comes to their body, when it comes to their weight, and I deal a lot with that aspect, and I have to coach them through this process. People that we think have it all together are actually tore up inside. And the groundwork to achieving any goal is to first take care of the very first 2 things that God gave you when you came into this planet: a spirit and your body. The spirit can't exist without a body, which is your vehicle on this earth, and the body can't exist without a spirit. So those are the most important things on this planet that God's bestowed upon us. So if one fails, you're not going to have much success with the other, and vice versa. I don't care if you're a multi-billionaire. If you're not taking care of your health, you ain't got much. That money's not going to do you much good. Steve Jobs, perfect example. Multi-billionaire died of cancer. A lot of cancers are preventable. It's just a lack of education. People live a certain lifestyle, and they continue this lifestyle and neglect their bodies, neglect their temples. And you neglect that temple, pretty soon, 30 years, 20 years, 40 years, somewhere down the road, something's going to break down. And when it breaks down, say, oh God, I should have taken better care of my health. And oftentimes it gets to that point. I got another message 3 days ago. A trainer mentioned something to me. She said she met this guy several years ago, and he was very obese. And she said to him, you know what, you should start exercising. His response to her was, you know what, I'm fat and I'm happy. I'm going to die one day, I might as well die happy. Several years after that, she lost contact with him. He lost his job. He ended up in the hospital. Next time she saw him, he said, I should have taken better care of myself. So now he's pretty much eating his own words. And I deal with a lot of that. So it's about changing the person's mentality, the way that you think. All these foods that taste good, especially processed foods, are actually killing us today. It tastes good, it's easy going down, but pretty soon you're going to pay a price because it's artificial. It's not what God intended for us originally to eat in the first place. And now we're putting this stuff in our bodies, and it's causing obesity. And obesity leads to a lot of other problems that I'm not going to really get into, but you have to take care of this before you can do anything else out in that world. If you lose this, if this breaks down, you're not going to be very happy doing anything else. You're going to be miserable. You're going to have $1 billion and have cancer. You might as well pass it on to the next generation. You're going to be around too much longer. But there are methods you can do. There are things you can do to prevent all these diseases, prevent everything. Exercise, very, very simple. Just like you feed your spirit with the Word of God, you got to feed your body the proper foods, the proper water, and also movement. The body was made to move. Okay, I want to do a quick test right quick. We've all been sitting down. I want everybody to stand up for a second. Okay, here's what I want you to do. Put your hands above your head. Keep your legs straight. Don't bend your knees. Reach down and touch your toes. Go as far as you can. Good, good. And stand straight back up. How'd that feel? I see his blood rushing to the head and everything. It was a little lightheaded, right? A little painful, right? Now you can all have a seat. The point I wanted to make was, from my experience, by the time a person reaches age 35, they lose about 50% of their flexibility. Now kids, with children it comes natural. If you're training, it comes natural. But if you're not using it, you gradually lose health benefits. It may seem like nothing right now, but as you get older, you start to feel, ache starts, pain, your back starts hurting, your knees start aching. If you fall, if your body's weak, your muscles aren't strong, you're liable to break a hip, throw your back out, break your ankle. And just by doing little things to reinforce the strength in your own body, you can prevent a lot of these things, especially a lot of these illnesses. Cancer's a biggie. About 90%, and Doc, you can probably back me up on this, about 90%, death starts in the colon pretty much. A lot of deaths, when a person says a person dies from natural causes, what does that mean? A person died from natural causes. Oh, he died from his old age. No, something happened. Natural causes, the body died from a lack of something. A lack of a mineral or a nutrient or a vitamin over a period of time. So it gradually starts to break down. They label it as natural causes. But that's, if you hear that word, you just think, oh, he's an old person, he lived a rightful old age. Well, I had a cousin who just died at age 109 years old last November. No processed foods, no fast foods, lived off the farm, grew in the country, didn't walk with a cane stick, had his right mind. 109 years old. He was the oldest Mason in the United States. Just passed away last year. So, and there's another man right now, he's 110 years old. They asked him what was the secret to his longevity. He said, no fast foods, no processed foods, lived off the earth, vegetables and fruit and herbs. And every now and then he might have some red meat, some lamb. He said, stay away from the other stuff. And he walks around without a cane stick, looks like he's in his 70s, pretty clear skin. So when you have a disciplined lifestyle, and he never gets sick, hasn't been sick in years. So when you live a disciplined lifestyle, stay away from a lot of these foods that are killing us, and at the same time incorporate just a few exercises to get the body moving. Now you don't have to be a bodybuilder or personal trainer or exercise fanatic. Just add about 10 minutes a day doing something, and at the end of that year, you made a lot of changes, a lifestyle change. Just by eating correctly, if you never exercise at all, you can lose 30 pounds. You can lose 40 pounds gradually, and your body starts to change. But if you want to speed the process and strengthen your body, keep your body protected against falls, slips, mishaps, car crashes. You never know what position you might be in later on in life, that your flexibility might come into play. You might be in a mixed up position. If you're not flexible, you're going to pop a muscle or something. You're going to strain something. But if your body's limber, you're loose, you're flexible, you can bear that for a little bit until help comes along. See, a lot of these things people take for granted, don't really think about until an illness or something or a death happens in the family. And I deal with a lot of that. So I just want to show you a few exercises right quick, a few things you can do for those people who, it doesn't matter if you're work night shift or whatever your shift might be. The first thing in the morning you get up, before you brush your teeth, before you wash your face, before you start your day, you can do jumping jacks for those who are light. Now, for those of you who don't know what jumping jacks is, who doesn't know what jumping jacks are? Everybody knows what jumping jacks is. It's real simple, right? Jumping jacks is a cardiovascular exercise. It works your calf muscles, your shins, your quadriceps, your hamstrings, and the most important muscle of all, your heart muscle. This is a muscle. The more you work this muscle, the stronger it gets. The more you work this muscle, the lower your resting heart rate is. It differentiates between driving a Pinto to a Jaguar. Now Pintos, they don't make those Pintos anymore. But a Jaguar is a nice car, finely tuned, and it takes very little energy to get it from 0 to 60 miles per hour. Why? Because everything's working the way it should be working. As you let your body go, your body becomes pressurized, your heart becomes congested. It's harder to pump blood through the same vessels you were born with, so now it's doing extra 3 times, 4 times, 5 times the work. And if you're congesting your body with all these messed up foods, it's clogging your arteries. Guess what? Now those arteries, those vessels probably once, as an example, once was here, it's now like this, and it's trying to force all this blood through that. And what happens is, a lot of this leads to diabetes, leads to cancer, a lot of illnesses you hear about every single day. But high blood pressure, exactly. High blood pressure is a biggie. But some very simple exercises, jumping jacks, just doing this and breathing. And my shoes squeak a lot because I do a lot of plyometric exercises. Plyometric is jumping exercises, anything that requires you to jump. And I do a lot of plyometric exercises. And the reason why, I'll explain that in a second. But jumping jacks works your heart muscles, works the leg muscles in the leg, and it gets you breathing, gets your blood pumping, Now exercise also raises your blood pressure. But as your body relaxes and recovers and heals, it starts to gradually lower your blood pressure, stabilize your blood pressure. But jumping jacks, if you wake up in the morning and say, okay, I got 10 minutes, let me do 20, if you're out of shape, haven't exercised in a while, let me do 10 jumping jacks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Whew, thank you, Jesus. Get that 10 out the way. Now the blood's pumping. You're feeling good now. You've done something. It's not a lot, but if that's all you can do for the whole day, rest of the day, make that a goal that every morning and every night, I do it at night, but every morning before you get up, go to work, before you start your day, do 10 jumping jacks. Then build up to 15, then 20, then 30, then eventually 60 jumping jacks. And you find your body getting stronger, your endurance is getting stronger, you're feeling a lot better, and then you may want to start doing something else. Well, now I'm doing jumping jacks. What else can I do? Okay, maybe I can do some air squats. Air squats is very simple also. Again, first thing in the morning, you're standing up. A squat is like you're sitting down in a chair. Feet shoulder width apart, you're sitting down. You can cross your arms, hands on the waist, hands on the hips, however you want to do it. Now, the muscles being worked are your leg muscles, and this is going to burn. Now, when you squat, I don't want you to stay in this position because you build up a lot of something called lactic acid. But I want you to do is, now as you're squatting, as you're sitting, you're going to breathe in, breathe out as you come up. Now again, if you haven't exercised in a while, keep it simple, 5 to 10 squats. What happens is you're going to build the strength in your legs, the front part, the back part, And for those ladies who want to keep the derrieres tight, the butt. Those are the 3 major muscles that it works. And again, it gives you a little cardiovascular effect. So you're working your heart, may feel a little winded after. Oh, thank you, thank you. 10 jumping jacks, 10 air squats. I'm getting it done. I'm reaching my goal. Make that your goal. Do that for a week. 2 weeks, build up on it. Okay, I've done jumping jacks. I've done squats. What else can I do? Okay, I work at my legs, work my heart, upper body. Okay, push-ups. Okay, now push-ups, different variations. There's modified versions. And one thing I want to state, I originally started off using body weight exercises to build my own body up. Then eventually I went to the gym. That's what got me into the magazine. But then I made a transformation back to body weight, calisthenics, plyometrics, because that was my first love. And I went back to my first love. And me personally, it's just something I prefer. But you don't have to go to a gym, believe it or not. You don't have to go to a gym. A lot of people use an excuse, but I don't have time to go to the gym. I don't have time to work out. Work out at your home. There's always something. You can use the chairs, the tables, use the however your house is laid out. Make that your gym. That's your playground. Visualize, use vision. Okay, well, how can I utilize this table? And I'll show you that in a minute. But push-ups. For people who don't have a lot of upper body strength, there's modified versions of push-ups. And a lot of women start off with this, but men can do this also. And I'm going to show you one modified push-up right quick. Now, okay, you get down on your knees, and if you have bad knees, you can put a pillow on the floor, or 2 pillows, something to soften the impact. You get down on your knees, and there's different ways to do push-ups. I'll just show you a few. One, for people who aren't used to doing a lot of push-ups, aren't used to doing push-ups at all, oftentimes they do it, but some, back in the days, they would say that's the wrong way to do it. You're doing it wrong, which is like this. Okay. Now, if you want to work your chest muscles, believe it or not, if you actually do your push-ups like this, you work your chest muscles to a degree, but you're also working your shoulders. It's called the deltoids, and the triceps, the back of the arms. So again, if you're doing it this way, and I'm showing you another different version, but this is one way for beginners, very basic beginners. This way, as you lower yourself, you're gonna breathe in. As you push up, you breathe out. So again, you lower, you inhale, exhale. Now, when you're starting out, this might be hard for a lot of people. Keep it simple, 5 to 10 push-ups. And once you reach 5 to 10, make that your daily goal. I'm going to do this either preferably every other day, 3 times a week. People train 3 times a week, or you can train 5 days a week, but you shouldn't train the same muscle parts every single day. Your body has to rest and recover. But every other day, say I'm going to do this every other day, my jumping jacks, my air squats, and my push-ups 3 times a week, every other day. And that's your game plan. Stick with that for a while. Now, another version of modified. Cross your ankles the proper way, lower your waist, lower your hips, your body straight. You're going to lower yourself down to the floor. Your hands are right near the outside of your chest. And then you're inhaling, push up, exhale. Do 5 to 10 of these until you build up enough strength. And then you progress. 15, maybe 20, maybe 30. Then you graduate. Okay, these are getting too easy for me right now. What else can I do? Oh, regular push-ups. Regular push-ups. Now, you're no longer on your knees. It takes a lot more strength to do this. Same technique though. Your hands are near the sides of your chest. Gonna lower yourself. Breathe in, breathe out. In, out. In, out. Do that. Same thing, start off with 5 or 10. Keep it very, very simple. Don't make it hard on yourself. Okay, don't do more than what you can do and then wind up quitting later on. So this is too tough. Oh God, I don't need, let me get a surgery done or something. Take some diet pill. Start gradually build it up. Keep it very, very simple. And eventually you find yourself a year from now, 2 years from now, 50, 60 push-ups, 100 push-ups, no problem. It becomes easy. The more you do it, the more you build up. Now, a few more exercises that's working your chest, your heart, your legs. And what I wanted to show right quick is some exercise you can do at your house with a chair. These are called dips. Dips works the back of your arms, called the triceps. Yeah, that's good. Thank you. Now a dip, let me see, this side way, turn it this way. This thing in the back of your arm is tricep, you got 3 heads. This little thing here.
We all don't have 3 heads on ours.
Well, you might not be able,
one head.
you might not be able to see it, but you have 3. That's why we call it a tricep. Okay, you got 1, 2, and the inner side, but it's 3 heads. Now for dips work your chest, just like push-ups does, but dips also now works your back, your latissimus dorsi, the upper, that big muscle. When you see a lot of bodybuilders with those wings, like they look like they're flying, those are the lats. It also works your shoulders and your triceps. Now, to do a dip, a modified version for women or for beginners, period, you start off with your knees and feet together. Keep your back straight. And breathing is always important. You never want to hold your breath. Oftentimes, well, in New York, when it snows during the wintry season, what happens is you hear about a lot of people having heart attacks, especially older people. What they do is when they shovel snow, they shovel the snow, hold their breath, and throw it and toss it. And they have heart attacks. So whenever you lift a heavy, whenever you're doing any type of exercise, lifting anything, period, you always want to release that energy. Never hold your breath. Never, because you're going to bust something. You're going to bust a vessel, but something's going to pop if you're not fit enough. Whenever you're lifting something, you want to make sure you're breathing. You want that energy to circulate, you want it to flow through your body. So when you're doing a dip, as you lower yourself, you're going to breathe in right here at the bottom. Breathe out. Keep your knees bent, feet on the floor, feet together. Push up, breathe out. Now this is the modified version. Okay? Now, for an advanced version, people a little bit stronger. Once that gets too easy, do 5 to 10 of those, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, getting a little bit stronger now. Let me take it up another notch. Legs straight out. Same thing though. Lower yourself down. If you can get all the way to the floor, get to the floor. Push up, but breathe out. Good. Make a goal, 5 to 10 of those. So now you got a full body game plan. You've got jumping jacks. Thank you. You got jumping jacks. You got air squats. And again, you can adjust your feet with these. Get the hands on the waist, feet together. However you want to do it, wide sumo squats. Play with it. Okay, mix it up a little bit. And the more, every movement, every little gradual movement targets your body's muscles in a different aspect. Okay, so every little change in your hand placement for push-ups, you don't just have to do it this way. You can here, twist your hands like that, hands around, on your fingers. It's always a gradual increase of techniques. There's something called plank push-ups, which is a lot harder, a lot more advanced techniques. That's for the elite, advanced people. There's a lot of things you can do to build your body up. Now, the purpose of exercise, what happens is, see, I'm breathing a little hard right now, plus it's a little warm here, but what happens is it increases your blood flow, increases your heart rate. It makes your body feel like it's on fire. You get hotter, temperature starts to rise. Once your temperature rises, your breathing increases, and your pulse increases, one thing starts to happen. You're burning body fat. Thermogenesis starts to take place inside your body, that's what you want. You want to burn your body fat. Because all illness, all sickness is found in your body fat. Weight is important, but it's more important is being healthy and fit, and by reducing as much body fat as possible, the byproduct is weight loss. Okay, eating healthy, working out, just adding a little fitness, 10 minutes a day, that's all you need. And then as time goes on, as you start to develop a love for fitness, you start to add on more and more and more and discover more things about your body. You feel fit, be fitter, be healthier, and feel better about yourself. So transforming, no matter what you're doing, no matter what your career is, You will not be able to have that career or do that career to your best if you're not healthy. So everything starts with the temple and your spirit. Build those two first, and everything else is possible. And with that, I want to thank you all for letting me come out this afternoon and share with you a few examples of health and fitness and something I love to do. Thank you very much.